In today's episode, I'm going to tell you all about why I became a writer. Roll intro. Now you're probably wondering, why am I speaking to you from a cricket pitch? And that's because this is where I always thought my story was going to play out. Growing up, cricket was my main sport. I'd play at any chance I got. And I always had the goal of playing professionally. Even when I first came over to the UK, that was my goal, to try and make a team and make a living out of it. But something had happened when I was 16 at school that sparked an idea that I couldn't quite shake. In my second last year at school, I entered into a playwriting competition. We had to enter a 45-minute script and it had to be original work. I'd never really written anything other than a few short stories in English class, but I had an idea, so I thought, why not? I'm going to enter. And I ended up winning. Well, probably wouldn't say winning, considering 2 people entered and one of them got disqualified because it wasn't original work. So yeah, I probably wouldn't say I won. But I did get a chance to stage it for the school. Now, the play that I wrote was called Grey Days, and it was all about 2 old men in an old age home talking about life. It was quite dramatic, it was quite serious, and it's probably not the kind of thing you'd expect to be putting on for a group of teenage boys. And you're right, I was terrified that it was going to flop. I thought they were expecting something funny and this was just not going to be it. But I had 2 incredible young actors who absolutely smashed it, and when we all came out to a standing ovation at the end, it gave me a feeling in my heart, in my soul, in my, not quite my loins, but it was a feeling that I knew that I was going to chase for the rest of my life. But as I say, I continued to play cricket. I came over to the UK to study at Loughborough University, where I studied English and sports science. I kept playing cricket, I kept writing, but more as a hobby. But then when it came time to graduate, I did realise that cricket wasn't quite what I wanted to do. But I also knew that if I wanted to stay in the country, I needed a visa. And they don't really give out visas for people who want to become writers. So I needed to join the corporate world. An influencer agency thankfully hired me and got me a visa. It was a chance to stay in the UK and try and get a British passport, which would ultimately give me the freedom to write. So although it wasn't exactly what I wanted to be doing, I knew that I had a plan. First, I was going to work until I got my British passport, which would give me the freedom to stay in the country and start writing. But it also meant that I had a career that I could fall back on if it all didn't go to plan. I also made sure that I was saving a bit from each paycheck so that I'd have a savings nest egg to live off once I took the plunge. But I knew that wouldn't last forever, so I also made sure that I was working on my photography and videography skills, because that was another way that I was going to make money after I quit my job. And that's where I am today. It's 2025 and I'm about a year into this journey. So far I've just been focusing on writing my own work and building my own portfolio. I've never wanted to be the kind of writer that just says, I'm a writer. I wanted to prove it and say, here's what I've written. So far I've written a TV treatment, which is essentially an overview of a TV series, the plots, the characters and their arc that they'll go through the series. I have a pitch deck for it alongside a pilot episode. I've then also been writing a feature film, which I'm about 80 pages into, and that is a heist film with a bit of a twist. I've also entered into a number of different competitions just to make sure that I'm constantly writing each day. I took this plunge because I wanted to give this a proper go. I didn't want to sit there one day thinking, what if? Writing in the evenings and weekends sort of worked, but I knew that if I gave myself the proper backup plan and the best foundations, then I could give myself the best chance of success. If you're enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe, follow along. I'll have many more to come. I'll see you in the next episode.